and whatever other jargons he had to say, I just want it to be on record, okay? So, they are not blaming the government of Nigeria that is behind the invasion of Niger. They are blaming Christians who want to go there and kill Hausawa, kill Musa, kill Fulani. Meanwhile, the Hausas are in Niger, Hausas are in Nigeria, Fulanis are in Niger, Fulanis are in Nigeria. So those who are sending ECOWAS, Christians who are sending ECOWAS to go and kill Muslims, they should think twice. They should think twice. Because it's like going to go and kill our brothers in Niger. So definitely, we are not going to let that happen. And I think that's why they send them as delegation to Niamey. And that was the beginning of the rumor that the junta in Niger, they are now ready for negotiation. You've read that about, you've read about that in the papers, Abi, online. Yeah, the breaking news. Niger junta are now ready for negotiation, for dialogue. Now, those are far. Some of them, they sent them to Niamey. Okay? And they met with the junta head and the junta themselves, like they had a meeting and all of that stuff. But there was never anything called negotiation or dialogue. Nothing like that. But I understand that with the tension that is rising, especially outside Niger, that kind of message can kind of like go down and be like, okay, yeah, negotiate for what? That they are going to return the removed president back to power? Or what negotiation or what? But you see, karma, some people who kind of love karma, they will tell you, they will say, oh, karma na beach. It go serve everybody according to your deed. Anyway, it doesn't kind of play out that way, just like that, okay? But in this instance, right, just early this year, the man they removed in Niger that is about to cause war now, Bazoum Abinkon, he was a lover of coup. He was a lover of coup. Remember that Chad president who was a coup leader in Chad? That man that led his, remember him, that led his people, the soldiers into Nigeria chasing Boko Haram. Then he died in one of those fights. His son took over in another coup. He upstaged all the generals and he made himself president. That's it. The one that they removed in Niger, he was the president who actually carried out a civilian coup few months before he made this video. It was with Talon. I said Talon. It was with Macron in Spain, and he was singing the praises of what do you call it? Of the Chad coup. There's that clip again. Hang on, yeah, I found it.
Le pays était agressé de l'extérieur, on le sait. Et n'étant pas sûr de la cohésion de l'armée, de l'état de son moral, de ses capacités à faire face à cette situation, si c'est la Constitution dans sa lettre qui devait être appliquée, il y avait des risques que ce pays, qui constitue un pôle de stabilité dans notre zone, bascule aussi dans l'instabilité. Même si nous devrions considérer qu'il s'est agi d'un coup d'État, la raison commande que nous fassions le pari que, à la faveur de cette transition pour laquelle nous avons exprimé notre point de vue et demandé de faire les choses conformément à un certain nombre d'objectifs qui nous ont été promis et sur lesquels nous sommes en train de marcher, qu'on envisage donc une transition qui permette un dialogue et qui fasse en sorte que le Tchad ait peut-être un nouveau départ. C'est le pari que nous avons fait pour la stabilité de notre région. Nous aurions pu être très à l'aise pour dire que c'est un coup d'État, nous le condamnons, et après, qui va faire face aux colonnes des rebelles? Et si elles venaient jusqu'en N'Djamena et qu'il y a une guerre civile, Quels vont en être les résultats? Qui va appliquer la Constitution en ce moment? Quelle est la modalité de l'application de la Constitution? C'est autant de questions complexes que nous nous sommes posées et qui ont présidé à notre décision de dire on fait le pari avec les militaires.
You understand? He was talking about the stability of the region and the transition was smooth. You know what I mean? Like there was like a bloodless and all that. So, and they will continue to help. The collaboration between Niger and Chad and all the rest of them will continue to feel stronger. That France should give his blessing to the son to take over from his father. That was him there, Bazoum. So Bazoum got removed a few months after that in a bloodless coup. Nobody was killed. Nobody was nothing. It was blood. It was smooth. And the junta already appointed their own excos. Like they have already appointed their own ministers. They've appointed prime minister as well. Somebody that's like a civilian. They are already like running the country. Like, you know what I mean? Sanctions that ECOWAS placed on them, they are already saying they are going to come out of the sanctions stronger. Like Russia. Yeah, that's what they said. You know how many sanctions they put on Russia? Russian money now has gained 60% against the dollars. From the last time they started the war in Russia, I'm not kind of giving that as, what have you, the same case in Niger. But they are saying they're going to come out of it, all these sanctions. Well, with sanctions, we'll be fine. We're going to get our grains directly from Russia. We signed a deal with them. They're going to get grains from Russia. They're going to get a lot of things from Russia anyway. So they will survive, they are saying. Oh, you see this guy, Bazoum? We have a reason to charge him for high treason. In fact, right now, the only negotiation that is available is when ECOWAS is ready to stop all their nonsense and go back home. That's the only negotiation that is available because right now, it has become the mandate of the Junta in Niger to try the former president. But where did the rumor of they want to negotiate, I mean, they want to dialogue came from? I told you, it came from all of these northern clerics who went to Niger and they met with the Junta. They were introduced to the Junta. And that was that. There was nothing about being we are ready to negotiate for what? That they are going to put him back in power? Well, that was yesterday. So today, they already announced that they're going to try him for treason. Himself, member of his government, member of his family. And if they are found guilty, now for dream we go to see Bazoum again, and for posters, so if they found out guilty. So now those people they won't negotiate. I'll show you that meeting. That those who wanted to kill Christians in Nigeria because of Niger, the meeting they were at to try and stop the war. Here. Sorry, guys, there's one more thing I want to add before I play you that clip. Somebody told me and said, one political mistake that Tinubu is making or has made is that being the one to help put together the ECOWAS that they want to attack Niger. That if Tinubu meets Niger people, they will bring in interpreters to speak to them. When people from France come to Niger, they will speak French. When Tinubu and gangs send people to Niger, they will speak English, or those who can speak French and all that. But when these guys, Islamic North of Nigeria, the Nigerian stand of what is part of Nigeria, the Sharia North, when they meet their brothers in Niger, are the same language that they speak. Hausa. Let's go back to that meeting.
shi ne minista wanda ke kula da lafiya 'yan Nijar. Ko mamba ne na waɗanda suka amshi ikon hannunsu. Kusan shi kuma akwai colonel mai zama shi ko minista ne mai kula da
ruwa harka abin da ya shafi ruwa da mahalli
yawa da mahalli. Shi ko mamba ne na sojoji wanda suka yi a cikin hannunsu. Ni ko ni ne Dr. Bubakar Sumana, ni ne mai kula da fada shugaban kasa, minista mai kula da fada shugaban kasa. Kenan yanzu zan ba malamai su ma mutanen kuma su gaya muku da wadawa, kenan musan da wadawa.
Ibrahim Sen. Ibrahim.
Assalamu alaikum. Malamanmu wanda suka zo daga Najeriya sunan kungiyoyin musulunci ne Nijar, muna muku marhaba, sannan ku da zuwa, Allah ya biya. Mun so mu gwada muku nan ga duka malamai da ko'ina suka haɗu tun da aka sami cikin wannan al'amari. Jiya ma muna masallacin Juma'a mun yi sallah tare, muka yi kunu, muka yi addu'o'i, kuma mun roki alƙawari gaban Allah sai lokacin da insha Allah hankalin sun kwanta. Kuma mun gode da ɗan'uwantakar da aka gwada mana. Wanda suke nan suke so in shaida ma malaman mu da suka zo daga Najeriya, akwai malam Imam Abdullah Umar, shi ne shugaban malamai da ya shi mai haɗin kai na tsarin
After the meeting and they returned back to Nigeria, they told their friends there that they were ready to dialogue, whatever that means. Because few hours after that, they made this announcement. Good enough, I found someone who subtitled it. Okay, no dispute. Let me take this one. I'll take the cover off, and then you can watch this. They said they are going to prosecute Bazoum, and among other things they had to say. And this doesn't look like people who are saying they want to negotiate, when we all know that the reason why the ECOWAS is about to attack Niger, invade Niger, is because they want to reinstall democracy, which is they want to return that Bazoum back to power. And the junta says they are going to try him for treason. Treason is like crime against your country and is death. If you're found guilty, you'll be killed. So does that look like people who wanted to negotiate, or they just want to hide the stake so that these people can get sense before? I don't know, but listen to this.
Les transitions tiennent à informer l'opinion publique nationale et internationale que depuis les événements du 26 juillet 2023, des allégations des plus fantaisistes et mensongères sont véhiculées par certains lobbies en relation avec des responsables politiques ouest-africains au plus haut niveau et de leurs mentors internationaux. Le CNSP et le gouvernement de transition dénoncent avec force la campagne d'intoxication et de désinformation, ainsi entretenue à dessein pour le seul intérêt d'un individu et de son clan. Ce, dans le but de discréditer les autorités nigériennes de transition et faire échouer toute solution négociée de sortie de crise afin de mieux justifier une intervention militaire sous-traitée à une puissance étrangère par certains chefs d'État au nom de la CEDEAO. Les autorités nigériennes de transition regrettent cette attitude d'une certaine communauté internationale qui consiste à manifester sa solidarité vis-à-vis de quelques politiciens du régime dessus et en même temps manquer d'empathie envers les populations nigériennes durement éprouvées par les sanctions illégales, inhumaines et humiliantes de la CEDEAO, qui vont jusqu'à priver le pays de produits pharmaceutiques, des denrées alimentaires de première nécessité et de fournitures en courant électrique. Le CNSP et le gouvernement de transition saluent la résilience et la solidarité du peuple nigérien qui fait preuve d'une grande dignité face à cette épreuve, dont il compte tirer toutes les leçons qui s'imposent et en sortir renforcé et grandi. Le CNSP et le gouvernement de transition rassurent les Nigériens que, sur instruction du président du Conseil national pour la sauvegarde de la patrie, chef de l'État, son Excellence le général de brigade Abdourahmane Chani, toutes les dispositions urgentes sont en train d'être prises pour atténuer au maximum l'impact des sanctions de la CEDEAO sur nos vaillantes populations. Enfin, s'agissant des responsables du régime dessus interpellés, le CNSP et le gouvernement de transition réaffirment leur ferme volonté de respecter nos lois et règlements, ainsi que les engagements du Niger en matière de droits de l'homme, et, ce faisant, de les traiter avec humanisme, conformément à nos valeurs traditionnelles et religieuses. En ce qui concerne le cas précis du président déchu, le CNSP et le gouvernement de transition invitent toute personne de bonne volonté, épris de paix et de justice, à s'interroger sur la sincérité de sa prétention à soutenir qu'il est séquestré. Alors même que les militaires n'ont jamais investi sa résidence présidentielle et qu'ils disposent encore de tous les moyens de communication. En outre, le CNSP et le gouvernement de transition rappellent que le président déchu reçoit régulièrement la visite de son médecin et que la dernière visite de ce dernier remonte au samedi 12 août 2023 de 11h30 à 15h. Aussi, après cette visite, le médecin n'a soulevé aucun problème quant à l'état de santé du président déchu et des membres de sa famille, tel que d'ailleurs confirmé par un message de l'intéressé à ses proches et aux médias internationaux. En tout état de cause, le gouvernement nigérien a réuni à ce jour les éléments nécessaires de preuve pour poursuivre devant les instances nationales et internationales compétentes le président déchu et ses complices locaux et étrangers pour haute trahison et atteinte à la sûreté intérieure et extérieure du Niger suite à ses échanges avec les nationaux, des chefs d'État étrangers et des responsables d'organisations.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it. You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it. You get it? Okay. If you don't get it,
You get it? Eh? Well, if you don't get it, forget about it. So they managed to interpret it or subtitle it to some extent. But yes, that doesn't look like people who wanted to come and do negotiation, though, because they are going to start their trial soon. They are, like I said, they've already appointed a prime minister. This is their prime minister. This is the prime minister of Niger now. According to them, they are looking around there for a better solution on how to the Niger people to withstand the illegal sanctions of ECOWAS. So that's what I meant by, and as like I said, right? When you plan military coup, they have 8 regions, okay? Like you say, 8 states in Nigeria. They have 8 in Niger. Now, in that 8, they've already appointed their governors to all of them. In one of those places, here is one of their own military governor, resuming office in Niger. That's them. That's how they welcome their own governor. Yeah, that's a governor of their own region and his team. So to them, it's like, you know what? That's it. Like, it is no longer a coup. It is only a coup if it didn't succeed. The moment it succeeds, right, it becomes a government. Whatever name you want to call it, junta, or because they've already established their own rule, or I mean their grip on power already. They've taken over everywhere. So who are you removing exactly? Like, how are you gonna, like, anyway, we'll figure it out in the coming days. So they said that ECOWAS is having a kind of a rethink that maybe with small time, maybe if their own puppet masters are not kind of pulling the string again, that they have to do something. Because from reports, they said the longer this takes, the settled these guys are going to be. That is the message from France, from the US, and then from the rest to all these West African countries, that listen, every day is crucial. This coup took place on the 26th of August. 26th of July. This is 14th of August. It's going to be a month soon. And before you know, it's going to be 2 months. It's going to be 3 months. It's going to be 6 months. You can't take them out anymore. So all this negotiation that you are all talking about, we don't think it's going to work. But that is why people are now saying that, okay, let's see how this plays out. Maybe the junta themselves will have to like mellow down and cut deal as well. We don't know. But as it stands, like you heard from that broadcast, they have people who are willing and ready to support them in defending the fatherland. They call it Niger. Somebody said that the video of that sheikh that I played earlier was not attacking Christians. Of course, he wasn't. Okay. The particular video where this sheikh was indeed mentioning the name of that chief of defense staff or what have you from Kaduna, I couldn't put that up because when I tried to upload that on my Facebook earlier today, I got this mad warning, and I don't want to put that in my main broadcast, by the way. But yeah, a lot of you know that, but you would love to deny. I mean, find something to say, but that's not what he's saying and all of that. But is that what you're saying in the northern Nigeria? That, or is that like, are you kind of publicly rejecting those who publicly displayed that religious, what do you call it? Religious sentiments towards the Niger war? Like, do you deny them? Like, did you come out and make a public denial of them? Anyway, going forward, since the Muslim tickets was used in Nigeria for, according to one of them who now said that their hope has been dashed by Tifnumbu, another northerner. This man is one of their APC, Egbekegbese member. And he came out and he wrote a letter to Tifnumbu by kind of telling him that we might have used Muslim ticket for election, just to win election. But it seems that your decisions and your actions since you have been sworn in have been showing that it wasn't just for election. Muslim ticket was just for election. It was for more. I mean, that's a letter from APC, Egbekegbe to Tifnumbu, that their party chairman, Gandola, a thief, is a Muslim. Their party secretary, Ajibola, what's that one's name, is also a Muslim. And of course, they have been picking all this from all this decision, and this is from a Muslim North saying that we can't call ourselves progressives anymore if all these things don't really play out in a country that is as divided as Nigeria. And talking about your decisions as even as the president, since you are sworn in, that's coming from one of them. So this woman, you remember, she is not going to let you move on. Like they will say, election is over, move on. You know, they're talking about moving on from your life that they're about to squander. Like, how do you do that? Here is a message. Esther. Oh my God, I'm not sure.
Somebody has to speak. And if I am the one to speak, I will speak. I'll tell the truth. I fear no man but God. I just want to do truth. I like truth. I have noticed that Nigerians, we have moved on politically. We have moved on. We have accepted what has become. On one side of our mouth, we say we did not want Muslim ticket. We shouted it, oh, we jumped, oh, we said everything. We don't want Muslim ticket. And then on another side of our mouth, we have accepted it and we are going on. So I came to say, no, we can't accept it. This government is still Muslim. And so some of you have just collected it. You are even happy to be, you are wishing that somebody you know will be made ministers. Ministers over what? Ministers over illegality? Ministers over illegality? You saw how these people became, they won, quote and unquote. They didn't win. You saw how, while the thing was being tallied, they had announced, and they said, go to court. So we are in court. Why have you passed? Why have you stopped saying the same thing? Why are we not standing and saying, no, contrary to evidence, we will stand. Contrary to what is being done, we stand on what we believe. The prophecy was that there will be a new Nigeria. Is there a new Nigeria now? Is there a new Nigeria now? Is what we are seeing what we prayed for? No, this is not what we ordered for. The fact that you have stopped praying amazes me. The fact that you have stopped confessing amazes me. Abraham believed to the end. Even as his body was dying, he believed. So they have brought up ministers, they are doing, I still don't believe. I refuse to accept it. I will not accept it. Because that is not what we prayed for. That is not what they promised us. They promised that the result was going to be done a certain way. It came out a certain way. And Christians have accepted it. They are clapping. They are going on as if it's okay. If Muslim ticket was wrong yesterday, it cannot be wrong. It cannot be right today. It will not be right tomorrow. He said, but Pastor, we're afraid. Afraid of what is our country? Everybody has a right to live here. It's our country. This madness must stop. What is this? The same old people. Look at the ministers. And we are okay with it as long as one of our person is there. It's not about one of our person. It's the fact that right must be right. We must do the right thing. This kind of governance cannot continue. So we stand rejecting this government. We reject it. We reject the Muslim government. We reject it. I reject it. Mutuatung, the death is one. What is this? I'm surprised that Christians have accepted this. We're going on. I don't see resistance. I don't see us saying, no, we reject this. And everybody is quiet. Oh, I refuse to be quiet. I refuse to be quiet. This is wrong. It was wrong yesterday. It will be wrong tomorrow. As long as it's Muslim ticket. You know, the politicians have studied us. They know us. They will just make noise. They will just make noise. After a while, they will accept it. If we I'm sure they're telling us themselves, let's just hold on. Let's just hold on. They will give up. I pray that this generation doesn't give up. We must not accept this. Don't tell me that they won. What did they win? How did they win? There was no winning. They took it, they grabbed it, and they ran with it. And when somebody takes it and runs, you run after it and collect it. What is that? They took it, they grabbed it, we will collect it back. You say, Pastor, what can we do? We can pray every day. Every day I put my knees on the ground and I say, Father, this government we reject it. He said, that's never been done. There's always a beginning. There's nothing God cannot do. There's nothing prayer will not change. Our God is a God of justice. I was hoping that Christians will be up and praying for the judges and keep saying the same thing. I wonder how many people are praying. That's how we keep accepting it. But in our lifetime, in my lifetime, I will see a new Nigeria. I will see a better Africa. One of the African leaders went for a meeting. He was asking, where am I? What am I doing here? Is there? They were telling him what to say, but he is completely out of it. But he is there. He's been there for over 40 years. And he has set up his child to take over from him. What is this? They went for the meeting. They were telling him, say this. He will say, hey, is that all? Is there something else? Because his mind is not there. By the way, what will not happen? We are not going to war with Niger. We reject it in the name of Jesus. We reject it. There will be no war. Niger will solve their problems. Let Nigeria solve their problems. Let us solve our Boko Haram problems first.
She's gone ballistic in that preaching. I was like, well, I like people who kind of be honest like that. Be honest. Stop using history of Israel and then Arab and then Abraham and all these people to deceive our people, telling them that they face obstacle. The same obstacle we Abraham face, and you the face right now with your life right now. If you are watching me from Niger, like tell yourself the truth. The spirit of Kinnikok, which concern you with spirit of what have you. Look at what they are doing to you. So somebody who is very blunt like that and tell you that, okay, yeah, pray, then act. Yeah, sure, I like that. Blunt, straight to it. Stop lying to people and tell them that there's something that's going to just, you know what I mean? Like, no, it doesn't work that way. Anyway, That's just a by the way, because the thieves that they are asking you to ask God to destroy, you reject. These thieves are also developing something I can call immunity from being destroyed by just prayers. You know that? Akpabiole.
In order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays, a token has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly. I withdraw that statement. In order to allow you to enjoy your holiday, the Senate President has sent prayers to your mailboxes. To assist you to go on a safe journey and return. This Senate.
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so.
Just about a year ago, or like over a year ago now, Godwin Obaseki alerted Nigerians with what APC, Egbekegbe, was doing. A lot of people who had no clue of this ruin or what it actually means, they defended APC, Egbekegbe. Bokwari left, and left the carcass, left the Korofo for Tifnumbu, but they know born and well to come and tell you the truth that Nakpangolo then carry give me. Even myself no have a clue what to do. They've destroyed Nigeria so terribly bad that they were printing money, Baba, by law. Marshall, by law, for those 8 years, the total money that was supposed to be printed by the Central Bank of Nigeria for the government of Nigeria as a small loan, by law, should be 255 billion naira. 255 billion. That is how much they should have borrowed Nigeria government under Bokwari Central Bank by law. But they breached that law. They buried it. They burnt the law. Emefiole printed 24 trillion naira. 24 trillion for Bokwari. This guy raised the alarm at the time. And the thieves who shared the money are also back. Sharing again. I'm still coming back to you, Akpabiole. Obaseki.
The country will go and sleep. At the end of the month, we all just go to Abuja and we collect money and we come back and we spend. My brothers and sisters, I am an economist. I'm an investment banker. We are in trouble. Huge financial trouble. First, what we used to rely on, crude oil. Forget what you are seeing now at $70, $60 a barrel. It is only a mirage. It's only a question of time. Because the major oil companies, Shell, Chevron, who are the ones producing, they are no longer investing as much in oil. Chevron is now one of the world's largest investors in alternative fuel. Shell is pulling out of Nigeria. So, in another year or so, where will we find this money that we go to Abuja to share every month? Last month, we got FAC for March. The federal government printed an additional 50 to 60 billion to top up for us to share. We say remove subsidy. They say no. This April, next week again, we'll go to Abuja, we will share. By the end of this year, our total borrowings, the total we have borrowed is going to be in excess of 15 to 16 trillion. And my worry is that we wake up one day, like Argentina, the Naira will be 1,000, 2,000, it will be moving. Because we don't, you can imagine a family, you don't have money coming in, you're just borrowing and borrowing and borrowing without any means or idea of how to pay back. And nobody is looking at that. Everybody is looking at 2023. The country.
And you are now in that 2023. Somebody said, how will those states be? If you ask now who Ingo ask Emperor, if you ask Obaseki, now who Obaseki go ask? Peter Obi has an answer for that, by the way. What would he have done different? I'll come to that. Do you know that the National Assembly of Nigeria, they are taking more than the 110 billion naira they told you they removed from your subsidy palliative? Do you know that? No? Okay. Do you know that the 110 billion that you heard of, first 70 billion, second 40 billion. The 70 billion is just for the new law, for the lawmakers who came back in 2023 to just use them whole body, just take an old body. If you need to buy to get a house, if you need to take this 70 billion, take an old body. Then they took another 40 billion. From that 40 billion, they need to buy cars for the principal officers and all of the members, senators, all of them. Yeah, 40 billion. Really? There is another one, which is another 8 to 10 billion naira that they have also taken from that your subsidy palliative, the one that they couldn't make up their mind whether to pay you 8,000 or to pay you 10,000. They've removed another 10 billion from it. They need to buy vehicles for Akpabiole as the Senate president. These vehicles are different from the 40 billion for all of them to hold body. That one is different too. This one is that Akpabiole cannot be going to Uyo, and he will be using the same vehicle he uses in Abuja to Uyo. He needs a new convoy. And out of those convoy, he will need 4 bulletproof Lexus Jeep 2023. 4 of them at 1 billion naira. Ikoni Uyo, one in Lagos, and the one in Abuja. And you know their convoy, they need other people there too. We go there convoy. They say convoy, you don't expect him to be driving just 4 cars. You need ambulance. You need police patrol. You need all of these guys as well. Now to house Akpabiole as your Senate president is going to take a special 4 billion naira for himself. He need convoy in Lagos, he need convoy in Uyo, and he need a special convoy. Apart from the main one that you see right now, a special convoy for him in Abuja. And same goes to the speaker too, Abbas. That one's own is, in fact, heavier. That one is even cashing out more than Akpabiole. But the most interesting thing is that he's getting same thing as Akpabiole, but in different places. He need a convoy in Lagos. He need his convoy in Abuja. And he need a special convoy in Kaduna, where he comes from. So whenever he flies to Abuja in the private jets, presidential jets, do you know that in Nigeria, the poorest country in the world, supposedly Nigeria has over, Nigeria presidency alone, they have over 12 aircrafts, 9 special aircraft, and 3 special shoppers, like helicopters, like you say, Air Force One, Air Force Two, and all that. Now, how do they share the aircraft? the president and his family, they will be using 3. 3 metakpere and 2 helicopters. The vice president will receive 1 aircraft. Nigeria president, Nigerian they will give him 1 vice president. The Senate president, they will give him 1. Or the 5 Abi. The deputy Senate president and deputy speaker, those ones will be sharing 1. The speaker will be given 1. Then there is also another one put aside for the Chief Justice of Nigeria. So the rest are just like Mo Lue. You want to fly with the president. We want to fly in presidential. Okay, yeah. Go and bring 4 aircraft. We are going to Babangida's stepson's marriage. So that one is like kabu kabu for everybody. So the first lady can take any of those 3 reserved for the president and his, you know what I mean? That's how they live. And you know, when they fly from Abuja to their home, you don't expect them to take taxi, cabi. You can't be taking cabi. So they need convoy that will make it look like, I thought I saw him going to the airport in Abuja 2 hours ago. Oh God, how did he see convoy in Lagos? They say that one has a special one for Lagos. But he left Lagos just about 30 minutes ago. I have realized that the ARS convoy going to pick him up in Uyo. That's how they spend that. The supposed people who should be cutting costs, Abi, they don't give a damn about you. You know that. Because Tifnumbu and his family, from day one, they've already started taking their own positions and all of that. And as they are those who are actually, put it this way, as they are a kleptomaniac family anyway, so if your president is a criminal, I bet when you want to say you learn your own integrity from, that you are deceiving yourself. And I think that's why Peter Obi, in one of before your election, he was asked the same thing. And he was asked a lot of questions, right? Including how was he going to do it differently himself? What would you do differently to fight corruption? And he said, well, if you are not a thief and they know you are not, you would have defeated corruption you would have cut down corruption by 70%. And you know, he was the only person, maybe people they abuse him, they attack him for not stealing money, but for saving money. People were attacking him for saving money, not for stealing money. And they were defending thieves, career thieves, who looted them so blindly. And they said, loan is good. Loan is good, you know. Loan is good for real businessmen. But you don't borrow money to spend. You borrow money to invest. That's not what Nigeria did. And Obaseki said, one day you will wake up and you'll be like an Argentina. But there was a guy who understand what this meant. And you dodge his bullet to go and jam this atomic bomb. Fair coup. It's a throwback. If you are still interested in this, please watch this.
In order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays.
Very sorry. Somebody, I don't know. Did you say audio? It was actually playing here fine. So something must have mixed up there. Let's try it again. But you can hear me, Abi. Can you still hear me? Wahala. No audio, okay? Hey, Omo. Is it time for us to go then? If there's no audio, then maybe we should just call it a night. Oh, okay. Audio is back, Abi. Okay. How is that even possible? I was listening to him. I don't know why. It was kind of fine here. Let's do it again. All right?
Fighting corruption is as easy as APC. If you, who is in charge, is not stealing, your relations and those around you are not doing the same thing, you reduce it by 70%. And I challenge anybody to go and see what we did in Anambra State, where we were able to finish and left something billion. It is easy. If you, the principal person, is not involved, you reduce it by 70%. Because you have to be taking your own for other people to
indeed
take their own. But if you're not, you reduce it.
Okay. Right now, 98% of our earnings, of the revenue of Nigeria, is spent on servicing debts. Now, we know we need infrastructure, more infrastructure, especially the health sector, which I'll come to later. How do you intend to clear that debt and also implement key infrastructure projects that we can't do without?
You can't reduce the debt. The reason why we got to the stage where we're using 98% to service debt is that the debt you borrowed was not productive. You didn't put it into productive assets.
Indeed.
So it was consumed. So when you borrow money and consume it, your debt increases, your servicing of the debt increases. But if you put it into production, your value increases. And I've given these examples everywhere with several countries. We're not the only country who is borrowing. There's nothing wrong with borrowing. I say it morning, afternoon, night. It's what you borrow with the federal funds that is different. I give you an example. People say I've used Bangladesh. So let me use Japan.
Okay.
Japan is owing 230% of their GDP. But per capita in Japan is still about $48,000. Because one, the money they borrowed was meant to help build a better economy. It was properly invested. It was to save the country from collapsing. And most of the monies that were domestic investors. And Japan is still the highest holder of U.S. treasuries. Singapore will cite every day. People don't even know. Singapore owns more than 100% of its GDP in debt. But do you know why Singapore's debt is not affecting the per capita of Singapore? Because they have a law which says for every money you borrowed, it must be for investment in the future. But here we borrow it and we consume it. So we're not looking when the person of the money comes, because we have no money to pay, is affecting our earnings. So what we need to do as a country is to first change that borrowing pattern.
Right.
And make sure that our borrowings are for investment.
What about accountability? One of the things that Nigerians complain about is accountability for government officials.
It's a simple thing. That's what I'm saying. If you're doing the right thing, you wouldn't even, if you have budgets, because you have a budget.
But I don't think it's as simple as just doing the right thing. How do we hold government officials accountable?
It's very simple. It is for the people to be bold enough to say, you're wrong. I told you, I paid off 33 billion in gratuity, pension and everything. How did it happen? I go to morning mass every morning. Every morning I go to morning mass as a governor because you need prayers. So I was in this church, St. Matthew Church in Amobia. An elderly woman, Mrs. Cindy, who was 80 years old, walked up to me, took my Bible, took everything, and asked me to leave the church.
Wow.
And the people were protesting. And the people were begging her. And I said, leave, Mama, let me see what is happening. He said I should leave the church because God will never listen to my prayers. As long as she's being owed her gratuity, that she retired nearly 20 years ago, and she has not received her money. I left the church and said, Mama, I'm coming to visit you in the evening. He said, don't come to my house. Go and pay my gratuity. I went to her house in the evening, even when she didn't invite me. When I listened to her story and stories of others, I went back to that church and promised myself, I'm going to clear this debt. And 8 years after, I paid 33 billion naira.
Excellent. But the thing is, you see, nobody, somewhere along the line, somebody dropped the ball on that. And nobody goes to jail. Nobody gets punished.
When I talk about accountability, it is for the people.
Right.
This is the only country where you vote P2B in. They know he did not have a house when they voted him. They know he did not have certain cars. They know his children were not driving certain cars. They know everything. Then, suddenly, Mr. P2B builds the best house in his village within 6 months, buys all the choice cars, and invite them for Thanksgiving. And even the church and everybody celebrating somebody they know where the money came from instead of calling police. Issue of cabal.
Okay, the cabal, yes.
There's nothing called cabal. Unless you decide to create one.
Right.
Quote me anywhere. I've governed in Anambra State. There was no issue of cabal. Unless you choose to create one.
Unless you choose to create
You are the one who is going to create it. And then suddenly turn around and say there's cabal. On issue of restructuring, it's a critical component of development.
Yeah.
Restructuring is critical. But you know, even those who will be the greatest beneficiary of restructuring thinks it's anything. There's nothing in restructuring. It's just to make the whole place to develop. That's why I always say that restructuring is like fixing the engine of the vehicle
but
to make it work. People think it's about division. No, it's not about division. There are things, for example, if you talk about state police or this thing, which are part of restructuring, we're the only country that I know that is as big as we are with one just central police. There's nothing wrong. It's a security measure. I used to be in the University of Nigeria when we have campus police. There's nothing security. Security is something you drive down the process. So these are things that we're going to go. Education, for example, we used to have almost a competition when there was ABU, there was Unilag, there was Ebado, there was soccer. So these are things that comes with structuring. There's nothing wrong in it. Should be encouraged.
But
not the way.
What most will say to you is we have the current constitution we have is not actually the constitution of the people, and some would even suggest to you that should we be having a referendum, and can you
all those things will happen, but not the way politicians are driving. They will have to happen in a sense where even those who have fears, you know, when it comes to issue of restructuring, politics is about dialogue, consultation, meetings. It's not going to be where you throw things on people. You just have to, make people have a sense of belonging. Today, people are scared maybe, we'll lose getting the revenue we're getting from oil. The reality is that, look at a state like America. The biggest and richest state is not Texas that has the oil. It is actually California that has the agriculture. So you might even say that when you restructure, Niger State will be the highest place where people will go to. It is states that have ideas.
I thought I should bring back something about Obi, the one that is easy to criticize, you know, like he spoke in clearer words, right? You heard him. So it's easier for you to take him up on anything and say, oh, I challenge you on this one. Oh, I disagree with you on that one. Oh, I did this, you know, because he speaks clearly. He knows what he's talking about. But some of you who went on to go and say the Bulaba, Bala Blue, Tifnubu that couldn't even make any sentence, reasonable sentence. So you are coming around and like, Obi China, Obi Singapore, Obi this or that. Why didn't he do it in Anambra? I'm just saying, today you have the Bulaba. And he won't even tell you anything. You can just be there and be praying that I'll be begging like a lot of you do, right? Beg. As you please do something. Oh, he doesn't know what to do. But when he spoke about restructuring just there, he just gave you an expo, a very big one. The reason why they don't want to break Nigeria is because of the oil. It's not because of anything. You know that. The oil is not beneficial to the owners of the oil. The oil is not beneficial to the people from the region that thinks they own Nigeria and controls the oil. The oil benefits those criminals themselves, not you, not me, and the rest, right? But it's a restructured Nigeria, at least with peace and proper education, will make northern Nigeria the choice place to go through, because that's where the real resources is. They've got the land, so massive. They've got the population as well. They just need the right leadership to let them know that Nigeria has been offering them nothing but poverty and terrorism, courtesy of their criminal leaders and our criminal leaders too from the south. So it's making sense, isn't it? But he will never be president of Nigeria. You are saying that. You are following Tifnumbu APC, Egbekegbe, you are doing like, he will never be president of Nigeria. I am so happy in my life that at least Obi will never be president of Nigeria. Baba, it's not about him, it's about the people you are making, the choices you are making, Abi. And the way you make them, you turn around, you're asking God to come and intervene. Show Yahweh. You choose criminals who cannot even explain how they want to scam you. Like, you should even speak in clearer terms. Let Tifnumbu speak to you in a clearer term, and then you can say he's lying. At least you can hear what they talk. This one, no, they talk. Now, nonsense. You know it. And you are beating your chest. Obi will I am happy. I am very, very happy and satisfied. I can go to bed tonight knowing that Obi will never be president of Nigeria. But he can speak, you can criticize, because he speaks clearly. He speaks clearly. You can take him up on anything. Tifnumbu that doesn't. Atifku that doesn't. I'm just saying, you know, I just thought I should bring that back. Talking about how to fight terrorism, talking about restructuring, talking about, state police, talking about cabal and all that. It was a very perfect combo charts from the Nigeria Info FM, Nigeria Info or Nigeria FM or whatever. Thank you for that. So you have today people who are just consuming. He was talking about consumption, from consumption to production. A lot of you thought you are mocking him. You thought you are doing him or doing other people, other Nigerians who stood up and rejected this calamity that you are dealing with today. And you turn around and you are saying people will cry for another 7 years, 10 months. Do you think you're going to make it that far too yourself? Because these guys are not going to give you anything. They didn't promise you anything. It's just going to be like every day, more problems, unfortunately. But hey, it is Mayegun's diary political. I have spoken my own mind. And the ideal thing is to possibly open the line and let you speak yours for those who are still here, okay? If you are here, for example, my friends on YouTube, if you are still here, please help me like the broadcast. That's to show that you are here, okay? If less than 1,000 of us have currently dropped their offering out of over 3,000 of us, that is not impressive. So you can do that. I will be back, and then I will take calls afterward. Thank you. Right, I'll be back.
he don't cast, last, everybody go chop breakfast.